There's a chapter in my book, chapter 3, called The Guinea Pig of God. And it sounds tongue-in-cheek, and it has some humor in it. But I have to let you know something. Once you start changing the Bible, there's no telling where you can stop. Back in 2002, Eugene Nida, the father of modern linguistics, largely called dynamic equivalence, but just missionary Bible translation, he was interviewed. And this article is called Meaningful Translations. You can find it in the October 7th issue of Christianity Today, or you can find it online like this one right here. He actually talks about the topic of chapter 3 of my book, Why They Changed the Bible. For more information, if you're on YouTube, just click down here for more and it'll show you where to go for the excerpt. In the interview, Nida is asked this question: how important is it to maintain consistency in shepherd references? Now, shepherd references include shepherds and sheep and goats as well. Listen to what Nida said. He says, look out, because in most of Africa, sheep are regarded as very bad animals. Goats are greatly appreciated. If a woman were exchanged for a number of goats, she would have prestige. If she were exchanged for a number of sheep, she could never live it down. The translator, of course, cannot change all the sheep into goats and the goats into sheep, but you got to have, right here it says so, footnotes to explain the cultural difference. Otherwise, you're going to give an entirely wrong impression. Now let's go back a number of years. This is 2002. Back in 1983, my wife Deborah and I, when she was my fiance, were studying linguistics up in Seattle with SIL, the Summer Institute of Linguistics for Wycliffe Bible Translators. And they asked us a question about sheep. And out of the entire classroom, only Deborah and I were willing to keep sheep in the Bible. All the others, to make it so a native person could open the book and feel like it was from their own culture, would have exchanged all the sheep references and turned them into whatever the local people understood. But notice, Nida said, no, I wouldn't do that with sheep. It's too important. You'll find that out later in his own interview. The sheep are too important. But in the next generation, the people taught by Nida, who then taught us, they were perfectly willing to get rid of all references to sheep. It comes down to this. Once you start changing the Bible, where do you stop?